Major cloud outages, VMware now on all major clouds, new Docker release, Amazon on the edge of extinction after 25 years, and Microsoft killing it in the retail industry. Join me as I go over all the major announcements in the last month in the cloud space. Hey there, I'm Matt Carolyn and welcome to our August edition of Puck Online, bringing you a quick summary of all the major news events in the public cloud space. Every month we will come to you online in video, podcast and blog form, as well as in-person events every quarter in Vancouver, Canada. Today I'm broadcasting in North Vancouver with the view of downtown Vancouver in the backdrop. As normal, lots of new cloud news to cover this month, so let's get into it. So in general news, July started with Google's GCP being hit by disruptions to their network and load balancing, which saw physical damage to several fiber bundles looking after its US East 1 data center. This follows another cloud outage that they had just in June. On the topic of outages, Apple Cloud also had one which affected users' services such as Apple Book, Apple Music, Apple Store, and Apple TV in North America. It was offline for 3 hours. And Bosch has released an interesting new service targeted at battery in the cloud as a service. It uses AI to help reduce electric vehicle battery cell aging. They report that they can cut down the wear and tear on a battery as much as 20%. And Germany is working towards a plan to have data stored in the cloud in Germany by a European cloud provider. They are already in talks with major companies to form a cloud alliance. ServiceNow, a computing company, has announced that it's making its complete software as a service SaaS platform available on Microsoft's cloud. Even though the organization is committed to making Azure Cloud its preferred cloud platform, it also has ties with Google Cloud. A partnership between the two was made in May, when it was revealed that ServiceNow was expanding the cloud footprint of its Now platform. Docker Enterprise 3.0 is now generally available. In this latest version, the Docker team has bundled Docker Kubernetes Service into the release and added Docker applications. Docker Kubernetes Service and Docker Application aim to package and simplify developer and operator experience, making modern container-based workflows more accessible to developers and operators alike. Equinix has opened its largest data center in Japan and its 11th data center in Tokyo, after figures from Synergy Research Group and IDC revealed Japan is projected to become the largest public cloud market in 2019. In Google GCP news, Google Cloud has announced that it plans to purchase cloud storage company Elastifile. The deal should close later this year. The previous month of June saw Google purchasing the data analytics company Looker. And Google launched Spinnaker for Google Cloud Platform. Developed both by Netflix and Google, Spinnaker is an open source toolkit that allows software teams to create continuous delivery workflows for projects, but can be complicated to deploy. However, with Google's new service, developers can now easily install Spinnaker in Google's Cloud Platform with just a couple of clicks. Google Cloud announced a new partnership with virtualization and cloud computing software provider VMware. Through this collaboration, customers will be able to run VMware workloads on VMware Cloud Foundation in Google Cloud Platform. A statement from GCP said, "This brings customers a wide breadth of choices for how to run their VMware workloads in a hybrid deployment, from modern containerized applications with Anthos to VMware-based applications with VMware in GCP." This now gives VMware a similar story on all three major cloud providers for easy hybrid IT, extending your data center or on-premise VMware environment to AWS, Azure, or GCP. And also GCP has announced 4 new security updates. The cloud giant says it is now introducing Advanced Protection Platform, designed to boost security for high-risk individuals to G Suite, Google Cloud, and Google Identity customers. It is also bringing Titan security keys to the Google Store in Canada, France, Japan, and the United Kingdom. I know I'll be ordering mine once I get home. They have a bundle with the USB and Bluetooth one for $65 Canadian on their site. Other changes include G Suite's enterprise updates, allowing administrators to automatically receive irregular activity alerts in the G Suite Alert Center, and support for password-vaulted apps in the Cloud Identity. And Google has released Migrate for Anthos, a new tool that makes it possible to move virtual machines from rival cloud services as well as VMs running on-premise or in the Google Compute Engine service to Google Kubernetes Engine containers. In IBM news, IBM has closed its $34 billion Red Hat deal in a move it hopes will help its cloud ecosystem. Red Hat will become part of IBM's hybrid cloud division. IBM's software portfolio is now cloud native and optimized to run on any cloud with Red Hat. These new capabilities will be delivered through new integrated cloud native applications called Cloud Paks, software designed to help people quickly move, integrate and modernize mission-critical applications on all leading public clouds. IBM just released these first 5 Cloud Paks, as well as other new products integrating with Red Hat, such as Red Hat OpenShift on IBM Cloud. These are the first product integrations since IBM purchased Red Hat last month. In Oracle news, Oracle aims to move all of its 4,000 on-premise Middle East and Africa regional customers to the cloud by 2021. They also plan to move 1,000 of its on-premise customers to the cloud this year. In AWS news, Amazon has been on a bit of an education drive in the last 6 months, with AWS Educate set to train 50,000 Sri Lankan students in AI and cloud over the next 2 years, and the Louisiana Community and Technical College Systems announcing with AWS that they'll be offering a 4-year degree in cloud computing. This last announcement follows a partnership between AWS and George Mason University in June to also offer students a 4-year cloud degree. Last month also saw the 25-year anniversary of Amazon starting. It started as an online website to sell books, and today it is more valuable than Apple and Google, with a worth of almost $1 trillion. Just last year, CEO Jeff Bezos said that they aren't too big to fail, and that most companies today last only around 30 years. AWS wants to handle more of its customers' Windows workloads, citing data that claims to reduce organizations' 5-year cost of operation by up to 56%. The data from IDC suggests that when companies make the move to AWS Cloud, their return on investment over a 5-year period reaches 442%. Amazon China has promoted their president to executive director of AWS in the country as the company works at expanding its cloud market in the region. The organization is turning its attention on boosting its cloud computing and cross-border e-commerce platform in China after announcing that it plans to shut down its Chinese marketplace business on July 18th. Amazon Web Services announced its plan to hold a music festival at its annual cloud conference reInvent in December. The Intersect Festival will take place towards the end of their cloud computing conference, leading into the weekend over Friday and Saturday. It'll be an interesting thing since they usually have a bit of a hoo-ha with a big DJ at their reInvent at the end. An Amazon Web Services employee is allegedly responsible for a major Capital One breach affecting 100 million Americans and 6 million Canadians. According to a report by the US Department of Justice, Paige Thompson reportedly stole customer details by exploiting a misconfigured web application firewall on an AWS bucket. The FBI has since arrested Thompson, while AWS has distanced itself from the incident, stating that there was no evidence its services had been compromised by hackers. The perpetrator gained access through a misconfiguration of the web application and not the underlying cloud-based infrastructure, AWS said. As Capital One explained clearly on its disclosure, this type of vulnerability is not specific to the cloud. An Amazon purchased Flash-based Israeli storage startup E8 Storage. The startup provides flash storage for the enterprise and software-defined cloud and has raised roughly $18.3 million in funding. And Amazon is suing an ex-Amazon Web Services employee for taking a job with its rival Google Cloud. The cloud giant accuses former sales executive Philip Moyer of violating the non-compete agreement he signed, agreeing not to work for AWS competitors for a certain period of time after leaving the company. Amazon is now seeking an injunction to prevent Moyers from working for Google Cloud for 18 months. His role in Google Cloud will necessarily involve strategy regarding sales and improvements for Google's current or future cloud offerings, and will therefore threaten the disclosure of Amazon's highly confidential information and breach the non-compete agreement. In Azure news, another supermarket has joined the ranks of Walmart, Kroger's, Albertson and others, this time in Australia. One of the major supermarket chains in Australia, Coles, has partnered with Microsoft. The obvious pattern here is that these are all stores that compete with the retail online store Amazon, who also own Whole Foods. And with Amazon being the parent company of AWS, there is obviously a lack of trust and a mindset to not contribute to the profits of their competitors. Microsoft is certainly benefiting by being Switzerland compared to Amazon, who is seen as the competitor in many industries. And the report for Microsoft's Q4 earnings were released on July 18th, and there were three things that investors were looking at. One is whether earnings will rise from the Q3 revenue. The second is that cloud computing will help push profits up. And the third relates to how its partnership that they announced recently with Oracle, which saw the two cloud providers connected, enabling users to store data on both platforms. And how this will impact revenue is certainly on the minds of investors. And for the first time, Microsoft's cloud segment quarterly revenue reached $11.4 billion, beating out the company's other major divisions. The tech giant also reported a 39% increase in commercial cloud revenue. Microsoft Azure and Cisco have collaborated to simplify Kubernetes container deployment. Microsoft says it has added Azure Kubernetes Service AKS to Kubernetes managed services that natively integrate with the Cisco container platform. This integration should make it easy to deploy and manage Kubernetes clusters on-premise and in AKS, with one tool using common identity and control policies, reducing manual tasks and ultimately time to market for their application environments. Microsoft Azure also had some exciting news for the media and entertainment clients with its introduction of a number of new cloud-based tools and applications, such as the new Azure Render Hub. So that's all the time that we have for this month. For other items that you can look out for, we've got our meetup, our vodcast, podcasts and blogs. And you can find that on www.publiccloud.ninja. And we should have some exciting new content for you coming out in the next few weeks from Whistler. So stay tuned to that, and for any upcoming events in Vancouver, make sure you keep an eye on www.meetup.com/publiccloud and become a member of not only this subscription, but also on Meetup, so you can be notified when our events go live. And this episode was made possible by Scalar Decisions, a leading Canadian IT solution provider focused on security, infrastructure, and cloud. If you think we've missed anything, let us know in the comments section. Our next episode will be in a month's time, so make sure to subscribe. Until then, keep challenging yourself.